Hey, what's up, everybody?
What up? It's your boy Ryan.
It's your boy Easy. And this is Turtle Soup, the world's only listener. Nope. The world's only, the internet, the world, everybody's only community supported podcast dedicated to the ongoing journey of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all the way from the beginning until Uncle Shreddums drops a VHS tape in my doorstep. Well, on my doorstep, in my whatever, somewhere in my vicinity with my name on it, Ryan, because you know we're in trouble then.
That's a little Yep. Let's hope
But-
that never happens and the podcast
yeah,
continues.
yeah, 'cause-
Also, that's a little close to that time Danny dropped that cassette tape.
Oh my goodness,
our
you're
door.
right. You're right. What episode
I
was
just got
that?
like kind of re-triggered.
Yeah.
I mean, my memories of that whole era are impossibly scarred from that whole event.
Yeah, that was that was an interesting time. But you know what? We are here right now in this time. We are live on YouTube. So if you're listening to the audio podcast, grab your phone wherever you're listening to, go to YouTube, like, subscribe, and if you're already here, do the same. And be sure to catch us every Thursday at what time did we start? 8:00? Yeah, we start at 8:00. We do a pregame show where we chat. We had an awesome conversation about Rocky Horror Picture Show and baked potatoes. So ton of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks to everyone who showed up. It was a blast. And you can be a part of it too. So be sure to check that out. And then let people know we're here. If you know people that are Turtles fans and like to hear other people talk about that among other things, let them know that we do this as well. But Ryan, I want to get serious for a second. Get serious, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This
buddy.
whole thing.
Let it all off your chest.
Sorry, I had to compose my thoughts for a second. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
So
would one of these help? Little face?
Yeah. I'm gonna try it. I've never done
help?
this before. Let me do it.
Okay.
All right.
I'm waiting.
Ryan, you,
Yes.
me, the podcast, my house, everything,
course.
our world as we know it would not be here without the wonderful people that have gone over to our Patreon and become members of our family. And
that is true.
Kept the podcast from being destroyed by the Foot Clan.
Yes.
Made sure that we do not say clang, Ryan.
No clangs.
No clangs. No clangs.
No clangs. No room for clang.
No
time for clang.
No time for clangs.
Nothing.
Nothing. And we couldn't have done that without two very special ones. Near and dear. And that's Noah Overton and Jake Niehaus.
Man.
Two of the best.
We were just talking to Noah on the thingy.
We totally were. On the
pregame.
Yeah. And so we put out the challenge to him for him and his show, which is How We Sees It. So he said he'd never seen Rocky Horror. So we're like, maybe you should, and you should do it on your podcast. So that's what we do here on Turtle Soup. We challenge other people to just expand their horizons, to think outside the box.
Sometimes we challenge you just to make it through an episode.
That's
you know
me.
what I mean? Sometimes that's the challenge.
Yeah, that's definitely a challenge, but it's also for us too. That's an equal opportunity challenge for everybody.
Yes. Very true. Very true.
Yeah, but Ryan, speaking of things that are challenging, where are we at today in the journey?
We are in the year of our Lord, 1992, ladies and gentlemen. We will be covering the little known and little talked about live sequel to Coming Out of Their Shells, entitled Getting Down in Your Town, the live Six Flags experience. We have breakdowns of the songs and the story from that, as well as some cool background information on kind of how it came about and the personnel involved. So we're going to be taking a deep dive into that today. We're going to be getting down in that town. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Now, real quick.
That's what we're going to be doing.
Did you know about this? Had you ever heard about this?
Back when we were not in real time, when it was happening. I was like 1992. I was a Turtles fan.
Right.
I think the closest Six Flags we had was Georgia.
Yeah.
And which I think coincidentally, which is where the live recording of this was made, was in Six Flags over Georgia. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to consult the notes later, but that was the closest one. So we never really got to Six Flags. So I didn't know anything about this. Now, when we were prepping for the show initially, kind of doing our rundowns of this era way earlier, I recall it being on our radar. But like somehow when coming out of their shells came around, we just like we didn't wait. I don't know.
Right.
We were like full steam ahead.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I had never seen it.
Yeah.
Like
so
ever.
I had never seen it either. And now if I'm thinking to myself, like looking back, trying to think like, this is something that's right up Ryan Guy's alley. Like this is, and by that I mean, this is that nuanced stuff that Ryan brings to the table. Like you can count on the Turtles for a lot of stuff, but you can count on Ryan Guy to know about that stuff that you didn't know was a part of things. So I have a feeling you might have mentioned this and it might not have been available. I don't really know, but I never.
True.
I can't recall knowing about it or like having a pre knowledge of this. So this is definitely another Bag of Tricks episode, guys. We're like you just said, we're going back in time, but still I think it's worth it, and I'm really excited to get to talking about it. But we got some other stuff we got to take care of first. So
gonna be great.
Yeah, so
that's where we're gonna be.
Yeah.
But where are we, bro?
Where are we today?
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Doing okay. I think my nerves have settled because I just I'm getting used to the live stuff because it's a beast. It is a total beast, and so my nerves have finally settled a little bit more. So now that we're in the saddle, you know how that goes because you grew up in equestrian, right? So
that old trail horse. No, I mean still a member of the American Quarter Horse Association. You know what I'm saying? Like legit.
That's amazing. But yeah, I'm doing really good. But the things I've been doing to kind of like help calm me down and like get some of my nerves just from general anxiety has been going back. I know I'm a little late to the game, like literally and metaphorically. Finally opened up that Tony Hawk remake, and it's delightful, dude. It's great.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Having the old soundtrack is nice too.
Yeah, like barring the fact that one of my favorite band's lead singers is now in Goldfinger, MXPX, the lead singer for that plays bass for Goldfinger now. Barring that new addition, hearing Goldfinger never made me happier until then. You know what I'm saying? But hearing it on the soundtrack, that Superman song, 6 to Midnight. But doing that and then so I did that for a while, listening to the soundtrack. But then I'm like, okay, now I can do what I used to do back in the day, which was straight up just like turn the music down, turn on some like whatever. This time it's what is it? I wrote it down. Oh, it was that Knickknacks, that guy that's doing all the old Nickelodeon like mini documentaries. Yeah. Oh, I'm like,
you've been on the tip for a little bit. Dude, you've been going back to that old Nickelodeon vibe.
Dude, it's tugging at my heartstrings. Dude was doing I couldn't sleep last night, so got up, played Tony Hawk at 3 a.m. and was watching Mr. Wizard. He did one on Mr. Wizard, and I'm like, just mind blown. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing, and just enjoying the hell out of that. But Ryan, how you been, man?
Good. So I've been listening to some audiobooks that are really cool. They're let's see. Oh, this is unplanned. You mentioned Mr. Wizard, and I was like, I was wondering like what have I been up to really? And then I realized like, oh yeah, I've been like really up to this stuff, but I have to get the author's name. Going.
Yeah. And now is this on Audible?
So yeah, it's on Audible. But I mean, obviously they're books. You can find them elsewhere. But it's the Lady Astronaut series by Mary Robinette Kowal. She has 3 books. So the 3 books are The Calculating Stars, the second book is Faded Sky, and the third book is The Relentless Moon. I just started that one. Okay. So effectively, they take place in an alternate reality America where in 1952, a meteorite strikes off the coast of the U.S. East Coast. Absolutely obliterates Washington, D.C. entirely, a lot of Florida. Anything on that coast within like 500 miles or whatever was like totally screwed.
Ooh.
So that wiped out Washington, that wiped out everything. And your main character is this woman who is she's a computer. Like back in the 50s, like when they did like space stuff or whatever, they had like usually women who were like mega mathematicians who would like run the math because actual like hard computers ran on punch cards and stuff. And they were prone to breaking and stuff like that. So you have these women, just like which that movie Hidden Figures is all about the women that were behind NASA's like real life, human computers or computresses as they called them, which is a very offensive title even back then to the ladies. But it's about her and her husband and how basically the meteorite creates like an extinction level event on Earth. And in the next like 40 or 50 years, like the oceans are going to boil. So they have, back in 1952, they have this like huge imperative to get off the planet. So it's an alternate reality where you step through all the phases of like the normal space program happen like really fast. And she's trying to be an astronaut. And she has to face all the sexism of the time, and like there's the racism stuff going on. Great series. Like I made it through 2 books, and it's really good. It's got like crunchy science, like space science in it, which I love. But it's also just really good story. And in the story, because Mr. Wizard, in real life, was in the Air Corps during World War II, and the main character was a wasp, which was like a woman pilot that flew in World War II, and she knew him. So in the book, she gets a little famous for like being a computer and stuff at the NASA thing, and he asks her on his show, Mr. Wizard, and it's really crazy. And like it's like the real guy. And she goes on Mr. Wizard back in the day, but it's of course back in the day it was live and it was like a small show, it hadn't like blown up. But he's in there, and she knows him first as like whatever his name was, Bob something. Like he was Major Bob whatever in the war, and he just reaches out to her like, "Oh hey, would you come on my TV show?" And then she finds out it's Mr. Wizard, but it's really cool. But that's what made me think of it. But the Lady Astronaut series, they're really good books.
That's awesome.
A lot of heart, and she reads them herself too. She's a hell of a narrator, the author as well. Sometimes you see that narrated by the author, and you're kind of like, because sometimes it could be great, and sometimes it's like they're not the actual best narrator. You're almost like, I could like, because I'm really into audiobooks, so I could probably name like by name like 3 narrators that should have done this book other than the author. But yeah, that's what I'm into. So if you guys are audiobook listeners or just read voraciously and want to check out some books, the Lady Astronaut series, they're fantastic.
There you go. That's awesome.
That's what I've been doing.
Man, you know what else is fantastic?
What's that?
Emails
and voicemails.
Snap!
We gotta make a stinger for that.
I just remembered. I have an a 4-second clip of a song that I made for
like a jingle.
Well, it's supposed to be the sound of because I'm gonna do a whole scene, but I have to draw it. I'm gonna make the turtlecom, and it's gonna have the email.
Oh, that's right.
And it has the sound, an approximation of the sound of the turtlecom. So yeah, that's kind
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So just imagine you hear that. Boop,
yeah.
That's what you hear.
Yeah.
So first up, we have a voicemail from Mr. Evan Roberts.
That's true.
Checking in.
And I want to say, Evan, this is the first time ever. This is the first live voicemail that we're doing. Like,
true, and not just off my phone anymore.
Yeah. Like,
that's how it was.
We talk about being audio professionals to some degree or whatever, students of audio, but up until then, behind the curtain, it's always been the iPhone up to the microphone and just going from there.
I mean, if you want approximation, it'd be like, all right, so we have an email from Evan Roberts.
Yep, that's exactly what it looked like.
I got really good at knowing like which iPhone speakers was the loudest,
right?
And angling it toward the capsule, and like I mean, like it was pretty pretty clear. Part of the reason that we didn't actually like go as far as like, okay, let's work another input in and let's record that channel and like plug it straight in. The reason we didn't go that far was because like holding it up, like it worked really well.
It worked pretty good.
Yeah, so, Evan, you are the first voicemail played on the show.
So here's fingers crossed. We're gonna try it now. So here we go.
Okay.
Hey there, Eric and Ryan. This is Evan Roberts, your Indiana correspondent, aka Turtle Ingus, aka pretty sure my wife's been sliding into Eric's wife's Instagram DMs. Just wanted to provide an update after hearing Ryan's story about the frogs. Had a similar pest issue a couple years ago here. Had a woodpecker pecking a hole in the side of my house. Much like Ryan, I'm the type of guy that looks for peaceful solutions first. I tried to reason with the woodpecker by purchasing a birdhouse for the woodpecker, putting it directly on top of the hole that he had been pecking in the side of my house. Wait a few days, come outside. The woodpecker's actually standing on top of the birdhouse, pecking a new hole in the side of my house. So at that point, all bets are off. I had to go the more direct approach and scared him off with a BB gun a few times. Never came back. Don't think I killed him. Just think I startled him away. But fully support your frog removal process there, Ryan.
Goodness, man, that's
okay.
Woo, that's so good.
Damn. Okay, so let me straighten that out. So so you got the woodpecker a damn birdhouse, which is actually like honestly like that is very close to a solution I would probably have in that same situation. I feel like, and Eric's on that plan too. I feel like we would do that. I think it was even better of you that you were like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna put it over the hole. So it's a direct message. It's like instead of this hole, how about this box with a hole that you can chill in, man? And you come out there like days later, and he's standing on that shit, poking another hole. That's like,
that's so good. That's so good.
That's like the best thing ever. Like,
yeah.
And then he had to resort to that BB gun. So I'm gonna give an update on my frog situation in a minute. But we actually do have later on another email that is related to the frog situation. So I'll save the update for that moment. But yeah, Evan, thanks for the voicemail. That
was great.
Like I'm up to my wife about that. That's like she'd get a huge kick out of that.
Right.
So yeah, thanks a lot, Evan. That was fantastic. And once again, we got this tech, guys. I know that there were some voicemails that got like a little bit like lost in the filing. I know, or I have a memory of it. I'm not even sure if we missed voicemails. I have a memory that we missed one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we got this rig set up. So like, yeah, so definitely send us voicemails. We absolutely love it, and we will play them on the show for sure.
Yeah.
As long as you gotta make sure. So Evan's was a great length. Like Evan's voicemail, minute 12.
Minute 12. 72.
I would say up to a minute 30 to maybe 2 minutes. If it's all right, so I'll say this. This is a very short dim of the rules. If it's 2 minutes or over, it had better involve a Kino laugh and like a speedaway, like your boy Francisco. Like it better have like a gimmick, like or a story that is like too good. Yeah. Like if Kim Mitroni owes me $5 was a 2.5 minute voicemail, I'd allow it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I'd allow it. But yeah. So this is from our boy Malik, our golden boy in Georgia, Malik here.
Nice.
So he says, "Hi guys, Malik here, and I'm impressed at how far you've come since we last spoke." See that's so funny. That feels like we walked into Malik's office,
right? And
he's behind like an oak desk with like his like with his like fancy like the leather bottoms of his dress shoes like kicked up on the desk,
and he's got like an oil painting of himself behind him.
Correct, in the same position.
Oh yeah,
like he's in this, like wearing the same clothes, like the gray slacks, like everything.
Yeah,
and he's got a big cigar, and he's like reading like a paper, but it's like one of those like weird like it's like a smaller size paper, and you're like, where'd you get that paper? It's big enough to hold with one hand, so he can chomp on the cigar and smoke it.
Right.
And when he comes in, he looks up, and he's like, "I'm impressed with how far you've made it since we last spoke." And then you're like, "Fuck, do I sit down?
Right?
Do I like what do I do?" You know what I'm saying? That's how that felt. All right. So he says, so he's got some background on some of this. This is mainly about the ending of season 9 of the animated series and going into the 10th and final season of the animated series.
Right.
He says, you completed season 9 of TMNT, the final season to include Jim Cummings, Doomquest, though he was Shredder in season 5, Rob Paulson as Raph, as well as the last to be written with involvement from David Wise. Now, or sometime soon, we'll come to the final 8 episodes of the scintillating Saga of the Red Skies. Michael Gow, I believe I'm saying Gow, the voice of Gopher in Winnie the Pooh, not the guy who played Alfred in the Tim Burton Batman films, takes over for Raph and High Tech, at least for the latter's last appearance. And he has a little bit, which I thought was kind of interesting. It's obviously a quote. Speaking from a historical perspective, by 1996, Turtle Mania wasn't just dead. It had crumbled to dust like an Egyptian mummy. The world was done with the Ninja Turtles, and I imagine most X-fans at the time weren't even aware the show was still on TV. And there's kind of a good reason for that. CBS was phasing out its Saturday morning cartoon block, not just in terms of scheduling real estate, but in straight-up priority. As a result of their total indifference toward their own animation lineup, at least half of season 10 was preempted in most areas of the United States, rendering these final episodes virtually unseen. Lionsgate actually advertised these season 10 episodes when they first released the DVD bonus content with season 1 as never before seen.
I remember.
Well, not entirely true. Some areas did get them as long as there wasn't a highlight match going on or something.
Mm-hmm.
It does go to show you how little the world cared about TMNT by 1996. The end of the original TMNT cartoon is the equivalent of one of those obscure silent film stars dying forgotten and alone in a Hollywood rest home.
Goodness.
I was like,
man,
like it's like, like that's like that, like when Malik, still kicked up. When he gets done with that one, that's the first time that the smell of his cigar gets in your nose,
right?
And he expects you to respond,
mm-hmm.
but you're a little dried up because that first tang of that cigar, you're like, well, yeah, you know what I mean? He's like an idiot. Says season 10, all episodes written by Jeffrey Scott, though his scripts have a certain David Wise-esque vibe to them, is very much aware that it'll be the last season. So expect this 8-part mini movie to have a lot of wrap-ups to formally loose ends.
Oh, okay.
Not to mention, this part's kind of interesting. Not to mention, there's a neat little detail that you can't help but notice throughout seasons 9 and 10, which is this is something that we actually picked up on when we finished season 9. Dreg actually goes through a bit of a character arc. For most of season 9, he's smug and self-assured because he believes he holds all the cards. Mm-hmm. But by the time Doomquest rolls up, it's the first time we see that Dreg isn't in control of the situation for once.
Yeah.
He's actually scared shellless by someone, which is true. When Doomquest rolls up, your boy's like...
Shellless.
Excuse me. Excellent. Holy crap. That happened. By season 10, he'll definitely have dropped the cunning and deceptive aspect of his character bit by bit, and he'll try muscling his way to victory. But I think you ought to watch to see for yourselves. I enjoy hearing your perspectives on the episodes. And then to end off, he says, to help tide you guys over during the eventual gap of the TMNT media to talk about, he provided a trilogy written by an acquaintance that he would like us to read. So maybe we'll give that a shot.
Yeah,
he says, else time, fellow shellheads, your golden boy in Georgia, Malik. Well, thank you very much, Malik. That's all.
Thank you.
Your breakdowns of the animated series stuff is very informative.
Yes.
And I definitely appreciate, I'm all about that rhetoric, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that gets it. Sorry. Pull back the curtain a bit. So we got Farmer Greg on the back channel producer. You know what I'm saying? He's making sure we're all right during the live show, whatever. Yeah. And your boy just drops, my job is done.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn.
All right.
I mean, yeah. But anyway,
what else can you do?
Greg. I want to give him a big shout out on the main show Prime for being so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So this next email is from Christopher Garvey, and your boy comes in. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
And this is the second piece. You know what I'm saying of that perspective on my frog issue. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Pest control. That's the subject. You know what I'm saying? The subject.
Mm-hmm.
My day job is as a pest control technician. That first line, I'm like,
all right,
I'm all ears. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There are some natural ways to get rid of frogs without killing them. Unfortunately, it could get rid of the turtles as well. Oh. You can try garlic oil, cinnamon oil, and peppermint oil. I cannot guarantee that it will work or that you will want to be around the garlicky, cinnamony stink.
There you go.
But cinnamony, that feels like that. Cinnamony feels like something that would
sinful.
be absolutely illegal in Utah.
Absolutely.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like the Mormons are like,
no cinnamon.
were you caught committing cinnamony?
Yeah. Cinnamon.
Jail forever. You know what I'm saying? Like you're done. But these are common ingredients in organic pest elements, or sorry, pest deterrents. Also, I like to say that you forgot about my email I sent between episode 249 and 250, and I'm going to read it because he graciously includes it in the body, and we like being loud and wrong, so we're going to read
let
this.
us know. Yeah,
but yeah, like for sure. Don't worry, there's one more email coming up that's about something else we missed, so don't worry. We're getting very much corrected, which is great. Says happy 250 episodes. 251 if you count episode 0. In response to which color bandana, Mikey has his orange bandana. I don't have Leo or Don yet. That was in response to the Mega Constructs. I think you asked like where did he have did they have the red or the color,
that's right.
the different colored bandanas?
Yeah, like how
he
you
just
displayed
got
them
them
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he says Mikey has his orange bandana. I don't have Leo or Don yet. I'm moving for re-release with the new bases. I like my things being uniform, and the green-black bases and all black bases make me annoyed. Are you mismatched on those bases, or are you?
No, I think I'm
keeping it 100.
I think I'm keeping it 100. So, yeah.
All right.
I think we're good.
Don't let it slip. You know what I'm saying?
Because then it's slipping.
Yeah. Watch you have mismatched bases. And that's when you get in the same situation where you're putting your turtles on the entertainment center despite your wife's protests.
But she knows.
Like, imagine if Shannon didn't give a shit until she noticed that one was green and black and one was black. And she's like,
it's done.
I hate it. Take it off the entertainment center. And
All
you're
the
like,
toys in the fireplace. So,
every one of them.
Every one of them.
Every one of them.
Why do we have a fireplace here in Florida?
We were just about to ask. My parents have a fireplace.
Oh, so do mine. But yeah.
Yeah, but we don't, right? You don't have one. I don't have one. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I have
the problem
oven, that's
is,
about it.
yeah, I got the grill. If I ever need to like moodily toss like letters or something and burn them or some crazy shit, I got the grill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's where you dispose of things.
Right. Exactly.
So he says, I'm having a hard time with imposter syndrome lately. So how about a turtles come out and fight that imposter syndrome? Can you make a note on that? I feel like that'd be a good fight that. That'd be legit. Yeah, it's so funny. My wife and I deal with imposter syndrome like all the time. Like we constantly talk about it. And it says, additionally, would you guys like an advanced peek at my chapter? Because this is for the fan fiction he's writing. Starring Guy Ryan and Crosby Erickson. You're welcome to Writer's Room and read the draft on air. Your Northern Washington State correspondent and fan fiction writer Chris Garvey. Yeah, no, we love copies of that. I'd love to read that over for sure. Yeah, ship them our way and we'll make it happen. And thanks for your email, buddy.
Yes, thank you very much.
I appreciate.
I wrote down the turtles come out and fight that, so we're going to put that on the agenda.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate the organic pest deterrent advice. That's
yeah.
And I feel like sharing that on the show now, more people have they've learned something today. You know what
they
I'm
have,
saying?
and it's going to touch back to a theme that is kind of loosely touched on in the content we're going to cover today on the Getting Down in Your Town, where they're trying to push a different narrative than the cartoon pushed, where violence is not the answer. There are peaceful ways to resolve your conflicts, and so it's kind of one of those, kind of goes hand in hand with that idea. So anyway, I think we got one more, right?
Yeah, we have one more, and so this is from Jono Barnes. I'm just gonna tell you, Jono, I'm gonna read this, but you're gonna be disappointed at the end of it. So brace yourself, okay? But we're gonna feed you, baby bird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
we
didn't drop you out of the nest, but we ain't gonna regurgitate in your mouth just yet. You know what I'm saying?
Goodness.
He says, "Word, how's it going? Thanks for reading my email on episode 249. It gave me a lot to think about, and I would love the opinion of other Turtletarians. This was the email about collecting figures and like why we collect figures, and that was like one of those things that we got into a pretty lengthy discussion about, like his first point, which was kind of like, people say it's for nostalgia, people say it's for a lot of reasons, but his pet theory was that for a lot of collectors, that's just a way out of saying that they actually just enjoy toys, that they just like toys are fun, and that they always have to find some other reason for why, like speculation on value, second market value or something like that. And we had that conversation. He says, imagine my excitement tuning into 251 as I sat down ready for you to dissect the second part of it, only for you not to do that. So this is just a reminder. If you have no emails next week, you do have the second half of mine.
See, that's
cheers,
super
guys.
Nice.
It is.
That's a nice way of saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice way of saying read my shit.
Right.
So, but honestly, no, but I admire that though. I like 100%. That. We've openly said, hey, if we miss something, if we're loud and wrong, if we forget about something, let us know. And your boy let us know. You know what I'm saying?
And Jono's near and dear. So
he's near and dear. He's near and dear. So he says, he closes out. Cheers, guys, and thank you for ensuring I am the only married 40-year-old who has to sleep with the bedroom light on after witnessing We Wish You a Turtle Christmas. Though the 666 Turtle Christmas is one of the best things I've ever seen, so it swings and roundabouts. Take care, guys. Jono.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, We Wish You a Turtle Christmas should probably scare the shit out of you. So that is completely fine. You're, like I said, Eric watched Paranormal Activity one time, back in the early aughts, and got so scared that it was about 4 years for him. So I feel like if you can come in under 4 years,
if not longer than that, I don't even know. I can't remember. It was a while.
I remember clearly in the heady days of Turtle Soup when we started recording at your house, and I would come over and I'd be there so late I would like spend the night. I remember then, and that had to be after 2012. Because that was when we started the podcast, probably 2014 or so.
Yeah,
and the light was still on. Like I remember going to bed, and like in your like living room area, and the only light, because your house gets dark as hell at night with no lights on.
It does.
Because your windows were all, especially back in the day, your windows were blocked up like you were growing weed in there or something. It was crazy. It was bad. The only damn light was coming from under your door, and I could tell those lights were damn on.
Yeah.
And it was really funny because I remember at the time you'd be like, "Oh, I sleep with the lights on," and I thought, yeah, but that's probably like one like lamp kind of kicked on close to the floor, almost like an adult nightlight. I didn't think it was like, nah, man, the lights are fully on in my room though.
Well, that's not totally fair, only because so I have a fan that has 4 individual light fixtures that can be oscillated and moved. Well, I don't know if oscillated is the right term, but you can move it because oscillating would be it does it on its own, but that would be the fan itself. But no, the light fixture, you can just you can adjust it and you can turn them away, and you could also choose which ones come on and off. And so I did make sure the one that was facing my bed was off, so there was a corner of my room that had a little bit of darkness. But
what I love is that whenever you truly and fully fell asleep, if you're worried about paranormal activity, like someone standing over your bed and like staring at you and like doing doing that, like you'd be asleep, man. Like you wouldn't know.
Yeah, I think it's more that like because I lived by myself for like 10 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And so and you mentioned my house gets super dark and it's wild out here. But
it does.
But yeah, so if it was more so that like I didn't want my eyes playing tricks on me if I heard something or if there was like something.
Gotcha.
So it was more like that, but it's kind of hard for that to happen when there's a hard shell guitar case up against a dresser pressing up against the door. Yeah, there's a series of things that should have prevented that anyway, but nevertheless, the mind does what it wants to do. And so here we are.
The mind wants what the mind wants.
Precisely.
But yeah, so Jono, the plan is this. We did have a bunch of emails today though. So what we're going to do is we flagged your email. There's actually some really other good, like really not just like even like figure questions, but other good questions. We are going to address those, but not today because getting on. But so that's why I said like Baby Bird's got to wait for his meal. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna happen because they're good stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, precisely.
So we are going to address that on the next episode. So that is that, and that, sir, closes emails.
There you go.
Emails are over.
I believe it's time to start getting down, right? Getting down to business.
I mean, hold on. Let me check.
Yeah, pull it up. Look it up.
Give me 1 second. Just let me. All right, it's about 9:12. Check my calendar.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're supposed to start getting down about 2 minutes ago.
2 minutes ago.
I had it penciled in for 9:10.
Goodness.
Yes.
Well, better late than
so
never.
we were already getting down.
Oh.
Yes. So this this is Getting Down in Your Town. This was put out in 1992. It was performed and recorded in 1992. It is 30 minutes long. It is easily found on YouTube, and we will have a link to this in the YouTube description below. So if you were really not watching this live and wanted to really get the full experience before checking it out, you can always pause, go check that out, and come on back. But Getting Down in Your Town. So this was effectively a follow-up sequel, a direct sequel to the Coming Out of Their Shells tour. And it appeared solely as a stage show that toured Six Flags locations in the U.S. in the year 1992. It was written by Bob Bajan and Thomas White, who were the original writer and director, respectively, of Coming Out of Their Shells. So the lineage is like direct on. You know what I'm saying? Like it is like those same dudes getting it done. The performance was also filmed without an audience and released on video that year, and this is how we're seeing this. With the scenes involving crowd interaction spliced in rather obviously in post-production, with all taping occurring at the Southern Star Amphitheater in Six Flags over Georgia on July 8th through 10th of 1992. Let's see. And your opening plot to it, like the kind of the how they bridge you, is that with Shredder defeated at the end of Coming Out of Their Shells, the Turtles decided to go on the road with Casey Jones to further spread their songs of healing and togetherness and stuff.
And non-violence or whatever. Yeah. And
non-violence. So the video release itself. So the video release opens up with Coming Out of Our Shells, that song from the original production. Then goes on to feature 3 new songs: "Getting Down in Your Town," "Pizza USA," and "We Stick Together," as well as "Sing About It," which was the only song from the original Coming Out of Their Shells soundtrack that was not performed during that live show video. So we're going to break these songs down all individually, but that's basically the table of contents for what this thing was.
Right.
Lastly, so before we get into breaking it down, the general opinion, I'd be very interested to hear about you guys. If any of you guys saw this live or anything like that, definitely hit us up, email us and let us know. We'll read them next episode because very curious what you thought of it. But the general opinion of people that have actually seen the original Six Flags performance, and have also seen the video release of the show, is that basically the live video really undersells the actual live experience. And one of the biggest changes there was that Casey Jones was a lot more interactive. He would remove his mask live, so he wouldn't wear the mask the whole time.
Right.
And then he would go down to the audience, interact with the crowd, which I guess based on, it was an interview with the guy who played Raph, the guy who was playing Raph. He explained that due to I guess SAG union rules, that Casey couldn't take his mask off on the video, and that
which makes it
because
super
there was
weird.
no act.
Right?
It does.
Isn't there? It almost feels.
It definitely feels like he wasn't meant to have. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say because this is just now coming to me, it almost looks like his face is purposefully covered in something else that's black. We'll show it in a second, but
Yeah.
when we get to him. But like, I'm just now realizing that that could be also why they had to make sure that none of his face could be shown, and maybe that's why it looks even weirder. But yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's weird that they made that decision, but like the other comment that happens as well is that just the turtles like overall like cohesion when dancing in uniform, kind of dancing uniformly, like the choreography, stuff like that. The general opinion is that performance is actually a really poor example of like the real energy they used to give live.
Mm-hmm.
And then the idea, a lot of people got the feeling just when they saw it. And you got to remember, a lot of these people had seen this video maybe just after seeing the actual live show.
Right.
Was that it just didn't have the energy
Mm-hmm.
on video that it had in person. In person, it was a lot more interactive, and they used to like talk to the kids middle show. They always did like a post game thing where they'd go like down and like all the turtles would go meet everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people that saw it basically said that like, yeah, when you see the live video, it's cool. You get the songs, but like it doesn't have the same pop and feel that like the real live show had.
Right. And definitely after watching this in comparison to the coming out of their shells VHS, night and day. Like it's the live audience. Like we got on the screen right now a lady who's very much enjoying the performance, but it doesn't translate. It something seems off. Like it reeks of like post-production stuff to me, and maybe that's
yes.
Did you picked up on that too, right? Like,
oh yeah, for sure. Like it feels like they did a pretty good job. They did a couple like really interesting things where you could tell that they were filming other live performances for B-roll or whatever, and that they cleverly masked a lot of the editing by shooting like you would see this later on where they would start a shot like say on the turtles actually performing, then they would like quickly like rack over to the audience,
right?
And those shots are in this video, so it does make you think like that potentially like that this is live. They're trying to sell it, but it's odd because when you go back to the people, it just doesn't feel the same. Like,
it doesn't.
I got that feeling too. It's very odd.
But and to your point, yeah, they did. It's well done. Like there's some quality there that is that of an effort that was made. But it's just as somebody, and maybe it's because like we've worked with editing videos and stuff like that we can kind of get that vibe. But it's nowhere near the polished gem that is coming out of their shells. But nevertheless, it's something. But yeah.
But so did you want to start breaking the songs down?
Yeah, let's get into it. One thing I did want to mention too is that the other thing that doesn't really that they're not really selling the idea that this is live. Ryan, you saw that they have I'm trying to find the right way to say it. They have an overlay of fireworks for no reason that's going over this stuff that is it'd be one thing if it was practical that like, oh, this is a sky shot and you could see like if they made it look like it blended it. No. This is the turtles running out to be like, ladies and gentlemen, what's up? And just fireworks just on top of them. It's like somebody got like an Adobe suite that had like some sort of package where you could just put this overlay on, and they were just itching to use it, and they did.
That felt like someone's at the video editing bay. Woo!
Yep.
Get ready. We got this asset ready to go.
Right.
I agree. But that is another thing actually that doesn't actually like play over because and I'm glad you mentioned the fireworks thing. Is because people also said that like there were like legit ass fireworks like at the like pyrotechnics was part of the show.
Oh, okay.
Live, and
well, that makes
that
makes a little bit more sense.
So it sounds like they're trying to like kind of
approximate it.
Yeah, like the feeling of like, oh, I'm liking the turtles, but also all these fireworks are going off. You know what I mean? Like, but I think that some of that actually kind of got like lost in translation a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Or they're trying to like synthesize the effect. So, okay,
let's do it.
So the first song is "Getting Down in Your Town." You know what I'm saying? They come out straight with it, man.
Acoustic guitar and everything. That acoustic.
Yes.
Oh.
That acoustic. Hope it's an open tuning because I don't see how you play it. But the you may notice, and this pains me a bit, although it's kind of hard for us, but given our new YouTube status and the fact that we kind of got away with it before with coming out of their shells, we're not gonna be playing the songs today. That kind of made me a little sad.
Yeah, I forgot we did that last time.
We don't want to get all messed up. So we're gonna have to describe these for you. But there was no official like CD soundtrack, so I feel like that's a little bit like, at least in my head canon, that's why we're not playing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
there we go. We can
wasn't
say
ever
that.
released. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we're gonna give our best songs on the song. Everyone writes out the pain. So getting down to your town. So this is a classic Bob Bajan anthemic song. This is, coming out of their shells, like that kind of song. Kicks up. It kicks up a little more. It's not as like it doesn't have that quiet open that coming out of our shells does, but it's very anthemic.
It is,
and it is a good prototype, like template for the kind of song that Bob Bajan wrote for this project. Like this is a template. Like if you were like, man, I want to write like basically I want to write the end of the live show trilogy that Bob Bajan never wrote. Like this song and sing about it, I would think would be like, those are your templates. Like you can make it if you write songs like that.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is one of the ones that has just that little bit of dash of Cougar Mellencamp in it, right? Like
it does, yes.
Okay, because I think all of his stuff there's some like core shared influence, if not the direct source, that is resonant in some of that. That's got a little bit of that vibe, or maybe it's just the acoustic guitar. I'm not entirely sure. There's a lot going on here. I mean, we're seeing
his
Donatello.
Vocal approach is his vocal approach is very similar.
To
John Mellencamp for sure. I gotta be honest, this song probably has like one of the coolest bridges / like instrumental parts of any song that Bob Bajan's written for these projects. Like the bridge to this song is real good. Yeah. The other remarkable thing about it, and I don't know what it is, maybe I was just in a weird place that day, but like during this song they spliced in scenes of like the kids being like super excited at the live shows, like doing what like only like 3 to like 6-year-olds can kind of do, which is they do this thing. Like I'm gonna try to do my best approximation of it. If you have a kid or have been around a kid, you know what this is. When they get really excited and their arms stiffen up, like and like so they get hype and they just go like this, and they're like 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 have you ever seen that?
I've never seen that. No. And I'm a former child, so like I don't.
Oh shit! As a former child, kids do this thing. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, I'm doing an exaggerated impression of it. Kids like
was it like when G Twice's dad got dehydrated and didn't know what was going on? Like, is it like that?
It's kind of like that. Their hands don't go straight up like this. I got to get in frame, you know.
Okay, right.
If you look, their hands will like do a thing like this. They'll lock in, kind of.
Okay.
And they're just so excited that their arms like stiffen up, and they get this like they kind of scrunch down, and they get like really, and like one kid was doing that here.
Really.
And maybe with the song and the music and the bridge, I don't know what's going on. I got like a major lump in my throat. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a dad thing.
Yeah.
But I just I got the beginning of tears.
Right.
And I think what it was like, it is so awesome. And this is part of that savvy stuff about being a dad, but also like being a musician and stuff, and like really like loving music, is like, there's something about like the way that shot worked, like in those kids, that like, there's something so magical about how music can affect people, and especially kids, and them seeing this like show where the turtles are there and stuff like that. If you're the right age group, you are absolutely like blown over by it. You know what I mean? You are absolutely like, and there's something about that like really like got me, where I'm like, it was actually perfect that they threw in so many shots of those kids being so excited very early in this, because it gives you a good frame for like, all right, later on, spoiler alert, guys. Later on, this shit's gonna get real weird. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna be cracking a lot of whys about this show.
Yeah.
But for the kids, especially the younger ones, that were right in the middle of Turtle Mania, that was probably the coolest thing that happened to them like that year.
And think about it. Think about it. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but think about it. Like, I want to add to your point. Like I want to set the scene a little bit more. You were a child, and you hear that, and more than likely, if you have good parents, they're selling you on this idea that the Turtles are at Six Flags. Guess who else is at Six Flags? We are. They just happen to be here. You don't know that they're there every day. You don't know that how long their tour is going to be. You don't know if they just flew in from New York. You don't know what the situation is. All you know is that you're there. You're going to get to see live music and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which even if you don't really like them, they're at least celebrities because they've been on the television. So and in movies. So there's that on top of they are anthropomorphic animal ninjas. So. And they're teenagers, so they're kind of close to your age. So they're not parent Ninja Mutant Turtles or whatever. But like,
I mean, they play roughly as parent. Yeah, they play roughly as parent figures to a kid that young. But yeah,
they do. But it's somewhere in that murky realm of just a lot of stuff going on. The excitement, you're right, because even as adults, when we go see bands we like to see, and we're waiting to get in the door, like when Crowbar in Tampa won't, like they're just waiting to open the doors, and you're like, oh my gosh, and then you see like, oh, there's the tour bus right over there, and I'm gonna have to watch my hands next time because I might be doing that same thing that kids do apparently that I just never paid attention to.
I was about to say I could tell you without a doubt that I've gone to see bands as a full grown man, and like when they come on, there is a doubling or tripling of the effect. You're already like, oh shit, I'm about to see this band.
Right.
Like
right.
you're already like, if you've been looking forward to the show, you've never seen them before, you're already like, oh my God, this is going to happen.
Right.
And then when they actually come on stage and the music is like loud and it's all happening.
Yeah.
Like I have, as a grown man, had my hands do that.
Right.
Like your whole body tenses because you're just like, it's overwhelming, frankly. It's a lot. Yep. And it is too much of a good thing. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, that just got me. And that's really the thing I think I'll pull from this song really is just that, like, that moment I was like, seeing like kids get that excited about that. I was like, that's what this was for. Like, it's really good that they just kind of, they led with that. They're like, yeah, this was for those kids. And those kids are like screaming right now. And that's exactly what it's for. Like,
oh, absolutely. But the thing that got me though, Ryan, was this scene. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Right here, where I believe that's Michelangelo is playing the guitar with his teeth or his tongue. And I want to ask you because
he's doing the
so for those who don't know, Ryan and I are musicians. Ryan is one of the best guitarist I've ever known in my entire life, and I can play the guitar.
You're right. We blush.
But I know, but you just are. And so, yeah. So I want to ask you, how hard is it? I got two questions for you, and for the audience. If y'all have any answers to these, be sure to let us know in the comments on YouTube or write us in an email, turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. Whatever you want to do to get through to us, let us know because these are pertinent questions. Here we go, Ryan. Have you ever played the guitar with your tongue or teeth? And even if you have or haven't, how hard is it?
It's not hard because you don't. The playing guitar with your teeth/tongue thing is a trick that Jimi Hendrix started, I believe, or at least made popular.
Right.
Stevie Ray Vaughan did it as well. Is called pull on or hammer on and pull off.
Right.
What you're doing if you don't play guitar, the classic like hair metal like that little trick, that little lick they have during a solo. Well, all you're doing is using your third finger here. You have this finger rooted, and you're plucking the note with this finger. So and when you hammer on, you make the note in front of it.
Right.
So it's like da na 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 na, but you do it really fast, and it's like, oh my God, his other hand's not even picking the guitar, but he's still making sound. Right. Yeah, you play guitar with your mouth and your tongue with hammer-ons and pull-offs.
Right.
No one actually does that. Now, I did have occasion during my wild punk days to see a bass player for a band attempt to play the bass guitar with his member on a dare by another band backstage. And this gentleman did it. Played for, I mean, obviously very sloppy. And he had it turned around. So like the bass was like facing his body. And he like whipped it out and was like playing. I'm
assuming it's slap bass, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it has to be. You're not going to get all. I mean,
yeah.
First of all, if you have prehensile genitalia, which that's an episode title.
Yes.
If you possess prehensile genitalia, you're doing the wrong. Whatever your job is, if it's not based around that, you're doing the wrong. You're doing the wrong job.
You missed your calling.
I hate to say it, you missed your calling. Like if you could be like the vice president of the United States, the president of the United States, I'd be like, does it involve that prehensile member though? And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, then that's wrong.
Then, yeah,
like,
get out of here.
unless you're signing bills with it, but yeah, so he did that. And the chief result was it wasn't half bad for what he did. I'll be honest. Like there were notes coming out of that bass, but after the show, yeah, he was wrecked.
Oh, of course.
Because guess what's not made to slap bass strings? That part of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the rest of the night, we're all out there, having beers or whatever. He's kind of sitting on the bar stool. He's kind of hitching different. You know what I mean? Kind of hitching. Yeah. And everyone's laughing because like he doesn't want to admit it, but like we know he hurt himself.
Of course.
And we're like, look, man, like, did that hurt? And he's like, yeah, it hurt pretty bad. Goodness. Actually, it hurt pretty bad. He's like, I think I could have a bruise. And I'm like, I never thought about bruising that part of you either.
Yeah.
Like, how's that work? You know what I'm saying? Write in. Actually, don't write in. Anyway.
Please don't. We don't need that. We don't need our inbox filled with that.
No. So yes. So it's not hard. I guess the answer is it's not hard to play guitar with your with anything if you're using your left hand creatively. If you're a right-handed guitarist.
Right. There you go.
So now we move into the interlude. So just like coming out of the shells, there's like a song, and then there's like some crap that happens. You're killing me with these screenshots.
Sorry.
Guys are fully fallacious. Who brings it?
Again, real quick, just for any newcomers, I watch everything with the automatic closed caption.
Yes.
So if you want to see what we're talking about, if you're listening on the show on the podcast, like these screenshots are from my YouTube where we see it.
The best thing about that,
it's too good,
is that like based on like the codec, based on how it's hearing, you may never get those same subtitles again. Like there's a chance, right, that those might not come up the same way. Just based on random error and chance.
Yeah, because like so there's some videos like for what we're covering next week. I couldn't get a program to get the video to where I could get the better screenshots that I wanted to. I couldn't get it to work, so I had to use it directly from YouTube. And I think that way it can change. But if you have it directly fed to it, like if you rip it or whatever, it stays pretty consistent. I could be mistaken. I don't know. It's not really. I just kind of go with it, but so far I haven't really had any trouble like replicating what I've been seeing. But theoretically, you would think that would be a thing.
You know what we should do for Patreon? We should. I have an old work friend who actually did this, so I know it's possible.
Okay.
We should order like a metric shit ton of fortune cookies, and have the fortunes all say things like that are ripped from the things we reviewed.
That is
and
excellent.
Then just send them to patrons and let them have their fortune cookies.
Okay.
And get the random things.
That we might have
that'd
to look
be
into
hilarious.
That I'm gonna write that down. So
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a boss who got fortune cookies made out of quotes from probably the dumbest customer in the store. He wrote down the dumbest things he said.
Yeah.
And all I know is one day I was working with him and he goes, did you know that, he goes, holy shit. Hey, did you know you can get like 2,500 fortune cookies for like $100? And I'm like, really? He's like, oh yeah, and they'll custom do you can just write your own fortunes.
That's amazing.
And it's like $100 for like $2,500. I'm like, no. He goes, that's crazy. So then like a month and a half later, he comes walking in the shop with like the biggest grin, ear to ear, and he's got a box. I never connected it. And he's like, would you like a fortune cookie? And I'm like, what?
Like, first of all,
and
who does
he told
that?
me this. Yeah, he told me what he did, and they were so awesome. They were just so yeah, that could be a thing.
Okay, we might have to look into that.
So yeah, so tangents aside. So getting back into the thing. So yeah, that's the song, and then this is the interlude that kind of, bridges to the next song. All right. So remarks. So at one point, like Mikey starts like immediately like working the crowd. He's like, "What up? Hey guys, what's going on? Hey, and like whatever." And Leo just straight up looks at him and goes, "Mikey, you look stupid doing that."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah, it's super like
it's cold-blooded as hell.
I mean, they are amphibians, so I mean like that's kind of their
I
thing,
mean,
right?
facts, but your boy, I know your boy's under those hot lights, but like, like you can't get an amphibian too cold.
You can't, but they are out of their shells
They'll
too.
freeze
so
up.
That's true too. But
you know what
you're
I'm saying?
right.
It kills
yeah.
us.
Yeah, the two things I noticed watching this and something I didn't really pick up on the original coming out of their shells, but also next week we're going to be covering more out of their shell stuff. But getting prepared for that and this, I did not notice how much it seems like Michelangelo and Raphael, more so Mikey, is trying really hard to be like, "What's happening? What's cool? It's cool. What's up? What's up, babe? Hey,
yeah,
dude. You know, cowabunga, rad." Just like he sounds like somebody's hitting a soundboard, like just of all these like kids' phrases or like hip things or whatever they did back then. And but then the other side of that coin is Leonardo sounding like almost as if like they're like in Turtle Soup parlance, he's doing the cut. Like whenever you or me do this, we know that stuff is like, oh, we either crossed the line, or like something we just can't do like that. Like I'm hearing Leo's voice, and I'm like, oh, he's doing the cut. This shouldn't have been in here. This is like real.
This was definitely like designed. I don't know if it's designed this way, but it feels this way. Like almost like this is one of those like a fight backstage boiled out on stage.
Absolutely.
This is like you and I both have experiences, I think, where we've seen one of our favorite bands back in the day, like break their shit and storm off stage.
Yeah.
Because of an internal conflict.
Oh yeah.
Like, and you could tell, yeah, sure. Like, you're the 20th date on the tour. I mean, like, wasn't your fault, but like it's been brewing up for like 20 days.
Yeah.
With no days off. And then just so happens it blows up. Like, but yeah, I just thought that like Leo dropping that was like really rough. And then they kind of proceed to get in this verbal argument that they have to get broken out of.
Yeah.
Like Raph has to come and like break it up. And I just thought that, the Turtles starting to show off with like a verbal argument that almost breaks into blows is like, I mean, I guess that's one way to start off a show that's supposed to be about the healing nature of music.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's one way to do it. It's like, hey, y'all, we want to bring our healing music to y'all. Hey, Tampa, what's up, Tampa? Tampa Bay, yeah. You know what? You look like a real goddamn moron, man.
Right.
Like, and then, oh yeah, you want to fight about it? And it's like, what?
And then
what?
they start, and then they just keep going. They're like, yeah, but we're on the road, so that's why it's, the road's getting to us. And then I don't know if you caught this, but like Raphael dropped some knowledge here, and I don't know. You might think I'm stupid. You might be telling me I'm stupid in the chat while this is going on. But Ryan, I think last week, for those who don't know, we who haven't paid attention, we found out Turtles' last name or middle names. And I wrote down them, but I don't see them right now for some reason. But
we know about Sylvester.
Oh, that was the one I knew off the top of my head. Was Michelangelo's?
Mikey was Sylvester.
Was Sylvester? Yeah. Leonardo was. Oh goodness, I had this wrote down, and now I can't find it. But his is there. I would try to find that. But and if you know the answer, let us know. Write us in. But then right here we found out that, and this makes perfect sense. Like I could kind of see Splinter being a little weird with Raphael here.
This isn't a bad one. Okay,
it might be a bad one, but Raphael says the road is his middle name. I mean, for right now, middle name watch going on, this is all we got to go on with Raphael. Like,
let me tell you real fast that if you ever watch the movie The Road, be ready to get real depressed.
is Raphael in it?
No, have you seen that?
No, I think I know what it is, but I haven't seen it. It's a thing
it's just
with,
depressing.
is it
It's
Viggo
like the
Mortensen?
father and son, like, yes,
Yeah, okay, yeah, I remember
that movie. That movie's awesome, but
Yeah.
it is like, it's depressing as hell.
Yeah,
So like, I mean, I guess like, maybe that's why Raph was all angsty in the first movie and like
It
in the
could
comics
be.
and stuff. Maybe
it
like,
could be
he knew like your middle name's The Road. I mean,
right. I
I
mean,
mean,
who
you're starting in a
knows?
bad place.
Exactly. But
So
yeah,
So the next thing we got to talk about is Casey Jones, because your boy Casey Jones, he
yeah,
breaks out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he does.
when we got to talk about this boy when he first walks out, because when you see him, you're like, there. Yep,
Got him.
totally pneumatic PC Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he.
Do you see what I'm saying? What I was saying earlier? Doesn't it look like his whole face is covered in like he's almost got like a ski mask on top of the other mask?
Yeah. I think it was like you're never gonna see my face kind of idea.
Yeah. And
he's got the build, and people that saw this actor live said he had the look too. He looked like Elias Koteas, like esque.
Oh,
like
really?
enough. Like he looked the part. Yeah. Like, so it was
he
kind of extra kind of annoying that on the live video you don't see his face.
Yeah, he I don't know. As soon as I saw him, the first thing that popped in my head was Lazy Jason, and that just kept cracking me up because he just looks like a lazy Jason. I don't know. It just,
he does.
But
he looks like you ask your parents to go get Jason Voorhees, and they're like, we have Jason Voorhees at home.
Precisely.
You know what I'm saying?
And
he's Jason Voorhees at home.
And your dad dresses up like that, or your mom does. Who knows? But the one thing
or Casey Jones you get from Wish.com.
No, that's it right there. That is 100%. Now, what I love about this is that it goes into this thing that, like, having done a lot of the pre-production and stuff for the show that we're doing now. Now, I don't mean to present myself as any kind of aficionado in design, but nevertheless, I have to we started thinking about things like that, and you don't realize you don't really fully appreciate the design work that goes into Casey Jones's hockey mask. Like, it's not just a regular mask. It's not like the Jason mask. Like, it looks different, and it has design features that are like, that just feel more like him. This does not feel like him at all, in my opinion. Like, I'm sure he
feels
looks
like
okay.
I think this is like a contemporary hockey mask. Like I think this was like the hockey masks they wore in the early 90s.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Like that. Like that's all
like,
they could.
Like that came from like the mall or like the sporting goods store. Like,
now,
and it's white, and they just did it. I don't know that for a fact, but it doesn't look like it's specifically designed. I don't know if I like the wrap. The whole thing about Casey Jones is that it's a lot more like the Jason mask, where it's all forward facing.
Right.
So it doesn't
that's right.
wrap
his
the
was.
head.
Yeah.
So you see like his long hair on the side, and like the hair gets like closer to the front of the mask, so the hair can go over the mask. A little bit of the Crow, like, hair over his face kind of look. Like, like, things can happen, but the way that he's got it going on, he has obviously long hair, but it's like underneath the straps and everything like that. So it makes it like, look, I think not having the hair flowing down is what makes him look so weird.
That's a good point.
Like,
that is,
personally. And yeah, his undershirt's a little like loose and kind of weird, but anyway,
yeah, it is.
So Casey comes out and he introduces the Turtles to a new present.
Yeah,
you call it a present.
Yeah,
that he and Donnie T have worked up, and this would be an interdimensional window where they can see Shredder trapped in another plane of existence, but he can't see them.
Right. Yeah.
And what's worse is they then decide to turn on another device that lets us hear what Shredder is saying
Mm-hmm.
in front of a crowd of children without monitoring it first. Like you, like they're like, hey, look, it's a new present. It can let us see Splinter, or let us see Shredder.
Right.
Yeah, and also we can hear him. Turn it on.
Yeah, turn
Like,
on. Yeah.
That guy, let me tell you something. If he's been in this messed up plane of existence for like, you know, forever, it feels like he could be sick. Like, this is some Event Horizon level shit you're about to get into. Like, it's real dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, what if you turn those speakers on and he was speaking like Aramaic?
Right.
And you're like, excuse me? And then like someone starts like screaming blood in the audience, and you're like, oh, that's some Lovecraftian curse shit.
Right.
That's some like, I've been to hell and back, like where we're going, we don't need eyes.
Right.
Like Sam Neill level, like
well,
this is bad.
It is.
Like,
it's very bad. And
it's a bad call.
It is totally bad. This is not responsible whatsoever. I mean, first of all, this is a villain. Shredder is like full on villain. Like, there's very little that redeems him in any canon generally. But but nevertheless, he's in isolation that presumably has no guard. So I don't know how he's been sustaining himself this entire time. But nevertheless, there are some things that humans do that you don't want to see. Like, you don't want to just exposed to. I mean, I can't even look at myself in the mirror sometimes. It's just weird. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I can't imagine them. Like, I would be horrified if I was a parent. Like, I mean, I'd be horrified if I was on the audience. I'd be like, I don't want to see Shredder play in the bass with his member. Like, I don't want to see that. Like, I don't know what's going on.
No,
you know?
like, I'm like looking at him. I mean, looking at him has its own messed up voyeurism anyway. But like,
absolutely.
Then like, let's listen to him. And he's like, you're
Right.
like, oh, Jay, like that was a bad idea. But anyway, they do it, and it's fine because he's speaking English, not a 1,000-year-old dead language or a language from hell or something. He's actually he's loudly declaring in English his need to warn the children that the turtles are the bad guys and not him.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Because that actually like opens a different door to Shredder a little bit, because upon information and belief, he doesn't know he's being like watched.
Right.
And he's in this like floating in this other plane of existence, and he's like literally saying like he believes like I've got to get them to understand that the turtles are evil and I'm not. Like, because the way he says it's like I gotta fix this. I gotta save the kids.
Right.
And you're like, it just opens this door to like Shredder actually thinking he's the good guy.
Right, which I love and is one of my favorite.
Which is great, but yeah, but like that's usually not a flavor you get in the TMNT. Like typically Shredder's out for himself. Like,
right.
Or his clan. He's not like I gotta he's not a Dreg character where he's like even trying to like act like showing people the turtles are bad.
Right.
It's more like he just knows he's evil, you know, but here it's like it's weird. It's almost like he doesn't. Like he thinks he's
like
justified.
he thinks he's being like not necessarily altruistic, but like he's showing concern and compassion, like a lot of characteristics that make him a little bit more human, but not quite to the Game of Thrones level where you're like rooting for the Lannisters again. But I do love that in fiction. I love the Masters of the Universe does this with Skeletor a lot, where they show why he became Skeletor, and like what that he does have moments where there is I don't want to say necessarily human side to him, but there is something that's more civil and more like of a good nature that's just happens to be in almost everybody, we hope. And so as opposed to a mega, you know, like a villainous skeleton faced man. And so Shredder is usually painted in a very similar depiction, except like you said, he's always out for himself, like or Krang so that Krang will love him, which is essentially being out for himself again. But yeah, this was neat. I was not expecting this like at all. Like this was not the turn that I was thinking was going to happen. But nevertheless, I did not see a couple other things coming, Ryan, and that's with this next song, which is where Casey lets us know that he's apparently starving. Now, I do want to backtrack for a half a second. Casey Jones helped Donatello make the device to be able to witness Shredder in the International Space Dimension jail over Six Flags over Georgia. What do you think about that? Because I found that to be interesting and not completely out of left field, but because Casey is technically inclined, but not necessarily technology inclined, I guess. Because we saw him at the farm, in the movies, like he was working on the truck with Donatello.
I kind of see like Donnie like as the engineer and stuff, and like figuring it out, and then I see like Casey is like the guy that like would help him actually build that big thing. Like Casey would like get the more like mechanical stuff of like, all right, so we're gonna have these screens so we can see Shredder. But you also need this like big like frame to like hold the device, and like you need like cases for this, and you need like, do you know what I mean? Like he would get the wiring of it, kind of handyman style. Like he'd be like, all right, so this wire goes here. I get it. He doesn't know any of the science behind why this device works, but he knows like how to power it, how to cool it. You know what I mean? Like that makes sense to me.
And that's what I love. I love some of my favorite scenes from movie 1 are Donnie and Casey, just because you generally think of Raph and Casey, but this other side of Casey, I really love, and I'm really glad that I don't know that they meant to make it like this, but they definitely showcase it here more than once, and I'm a fan, so I'm here for that. And I'm also a fan of a couple other things, Ryan. I'm a fan of the USA, and I'm a fan of pizza. And when you put the two together, Ryan, you know what you get? Pizza USA.
Pizza USA?
And that's the song that we're singing now. We're singing about it. Pizza USA. I would live in Pizza USA if I could. Like, if there was a town called Pizza USA, if you have a town in your state called Pizza USA, let me know and send me some realtor information, because I'm in the process of moving, so I could be your neighbor. But Pizza USA, this is the song. Now, I don't know. This song starts off, I think you were more of a fan of this song than I was. It has a very funky kind of style, and it just immediately reminded me.
I like the bass line a lot.
Right.
Like I think it is kind of, it has like a funk feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like the drums have some of that funk shuffle to them.
Yeah.
And it's a good bass line. I mean, I wouldn't say at all that I was like, like a fan of this song. Like this didn't go in my fucking mix or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like that. But I like the bass line of it for sure.
It reminded me of South Park a little bit, like the guitar, the way the guitar was going, and what was, for some reason it also made me think of Ren and Stimpy for some reason, but I don't remember their theme song at all. Like I don't remember what that sounded like, but it just, those two things meshed together, and so not really the biggest fan.
It was quirky and stuff,
but. One thing that the Turtles see, I don't know if they got that right, but Ryan, one thing they definitely got right was USA is the best. America's the best, right? Like that's, so that's kind of the takeaway here, right?
So that's disappointing. So like for all the so the way they lead into the song is like they boast about how they've been so fortunate to be able to taste the different pizzas all around the world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we've been to Japan, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We've been to like China, bro. We've been to like Luxembourg, bro. And I'm like, all right, keep naming places. Like, so we got to try all the pizzas, man. This song's about all the pizzas. And you're like, cool. Like, but it's kind of disappointing that like the main thrust of the song is about how the pizza in the US is best. Like, especially like when they decide to take the opportunity to make a bunch of like real like racist borderline claims about how in like Japan you eat pizza out of a bowl with chopsticks.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and how in Switzerland the pizza has holes in it or something.
Oh yes, and all that stuff. And I'm kind of like, yeah, man, I don't know. I feel like if you're real pizza connoisseurs, you know what I'm saying? Like you'd be a lot more like on it. But like this is just like, we've been everywhere. Let's sing about it. And then like 1, 2, 3, and then funky part, like someone's got their prehensile member out and they're like slapping the bass. And then they're like, we've been everywhere, but pizza in USA's the best. So don't forget about it.
Right.
And you're like, oh, that sucks. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, well,
Yeah.
I do want to pause
Go on
it
being
that
very nationalistic.
it did. And so real quick though, we do get to see a glimpse of what happens backstage. Just going to show this. So
Yes.
it's
Yes.
full on pizza, full frontal pizza right there. Just for everyone to see. But the other thing,
I wish they would have snuck somewhere in the corner. I wish they would have snuck like someone doing a line real fast.
oh my gosh.
Just right it, just like right in the, like somewhere.
Like
you know what
right-
I'm saying?
like right off the
Yeah,
pizza box.
like-
yeah.
Kind of no, not it wouldn't be like that. Like it would be almost like the scene in Spinal Tap. Like there's that scene where you have to watch it a couple times. I mean, I think to even catch it, where like they're focusing on like one of their like their equipment, and they focus on one of the amps, and the camera like gets down on the amp, and you see the guitarist who's like like talking about the amp, whatever. He notices there's like half a line on top of this Marshall like amp.
Yeah.
And he just sweeps it out of the way really fast. It's like super subtle. And it's
Goodness.
barely in frame, but you see a hand just like sweep this cocaine off the top of the amp.
Right.
And like that's what I wish they would have put here.
Oh, that'd
Like
be
you
great.
see Raph like going to grab a slice of pizza and noticing there's still like a quarter like a bump on the table, and he's like, oh, get out of my way, and like sweeps it off the
I don't know.
That's what I'd want.
I'm looking at this image, and right there on the corner of the box, it does look like a white line. Now that could be a reflection off the sun, like from the window.
If they're doing lines that thick, then I mean
they're definitely doing more than getting down to your town.
Yeah.
But
no, it's true.
but yeah, the visuals are weird. Like they start now. The one thing I will give it. Now it does get nationalistic, which I'm a little weird about. But and
it gets real patriotic, real fast here, real fast.
And I want to present an argument for their claims, but I will say I'm a sucker for spelling in songs, as you well know, and so they do
and
counting. They do definitely get into some of that, so that appeals to me. But I want to try to defend their claim a little bit, because initially I'm like, I don't know about pizza being the best in the USA. However, when America at its heart and core, and essentially what it was created to be, is a melting pot of all these different cultures from around the world. And the Turtles are talking about how they went to around the world and they saw the individual pieces that make the entire pizza pie that you could say is America, and that all of that together unified in one pie is the best, and that we should all be unified. Now, I think I'm projecting a little bit onto the song a little bit, maybe, but I think there's an argument to say that the generalization of saying that pizza in the whole, all of the states of America, like, is the best in the world. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, counterpoint to that is like, I think Italy entered the chat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you can sit here and make this about like the 4th of July or whatever, but like at the end of, because it turns into that real fast. But like
it does real fast.
At the same time, it's like it's for some reason to me it kind of reeks of that like stupid nationalism. Like
it does.
Reeks of that like blind, stupid, ignorant pride in your country that is like you treat your country like a football team.
Yeah.
Like that kind of person.
It
like,
does.
That doesn't think about like, well, wait a minute, like, why do I love this country?
Mm-hmm.
Do I love this country? Like, they never ask themselves that question. It's just
yeah,
is what it turns into. New York Yankees.
Yeah.
They're the best, is what it is. And I guess that's my problem with it. Is like, I think that like if you come at it with like a message of like, we're spreading our healing songs, but all you've done is damn near break out into a fist fight.
Right. Yep.
Expose children to potentially dark words from another dimension.
Yeah.
That could have kids like choking up worms. It could have like someone's head turns into a chicken or something. Like you don't know what's gonna happen.
And brought out a friend of yours who looks like a murderer from from scary movies that
Yeah,
kids are probably aware of but don't know.
Like Wish.com Jason Voorhees comes out.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's like we get like Dumb Patriot real fast.
Yeah.
On a song about how you've been everywhere in the world to eat pizza and you've gotten to have all this pizza, but actually like it just sounds like you haven't ever eaten the pizza because you're making a bunch of like racist stereotypes about like what pizza's like other places.
Yeah.
And then you're like, but USA pizza's best.
Mm.
And you're like, see, you don't even agree with your side of the argument because you've never actually looked into it.
Right.
I don't know. Like,
no, I get that.
Know.
That's valid points.
It's weird.
I get it. I will say too though that like it's also probably weird watching it now given everything that's been going on in the world. It probably rang a little differently back then. Even for
I
adults.
probably have a lot less patience after many years of experiencing ignorant nationalism firsthand,
precisely
every day,
precisely
for 4 years. So I feel like maybe it rings sour to me now more than it would have.
Right.
But back in the 90s, man, we knew how to all of a sudden make something all about America and then also get real wild with a lot of other things happening. I'm surprised Garth Brooks didn't come through on wires on this one.
I don't think it was in the I know, but I don't think it was in the budget, mostly because those flags are huge and I don't think they're cheap, but also Casey had to come in on a scooter. So like that was one of the things that the budget there's a line item on the budget that says Casey's scooter. Now, we're not talking about like a Vespa or anything like that. We're talking about like a Razor. Like your boy.
No, he's not like Scooter Gang before it's cool.
Right.
It is this event happens and it happens real fast, where it's got the little sign of like the little like image they show up, which is really weird because they spell pizza wrong.
Oh yeah,
that's odd with the Statue of Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens, which looks a lot like more like a weird way to spell piss than it would be pizza.
It does.
It sounds like something like you encounter when cleaning the bathroom, the men's bathroom, specifically at Zaxby's.
Oh,
that's what you'd call the stuff you have to clean off the floor.
Because the Z's. Oh, that's so good.
The Z's. Piss. But it cuts from that. It cuts from that into like all the turtles have the flags. There's like foam pizzas being thrown around. Casey's on the scooter, like having to really maneuver to turn around, and they're everywhere.
Yeah,
and it just felt like a fever dream.
It did.
Like it felt like something that'd be on like Everything Is Terrible. It felt like a fever dream.
Yeah.
You get from like too many spoiled hot dogs at the 4th of July. Oh. Like you eat the 5th spoiled hot dog. And it's real hot, and you drink some lemonade, but that doesn't help, and you like fall asleep like under an oak tree, and then like you dream of this,
right? Yeah,
like that's what you see in your dreams.
Yeah, and it's a nightmare. It's not quite the Turtle Christmas nightmare, but it's wild. One of the captions I got was Raphael or Mikey, I think it's Raph, saying "Pump up the volume on Gucci looks I want." And that kind of got me a little bit. Because
that could be a contemporary hip hop lyric.
It could be, but it sounds like the fame has gotten to his head, a little bit. Like he's just.
I mean, it's the Gucci's he wants, man.
It's the Gucci's he wants.
So it's the Gucci looks he want.
So after this song is done, we get to another interlude where our heroes then decide it's a good idea to go back and eavesdrop on Shredder. And again, this is another situation where we talked about earlier, like things could turn sour real quick, and thankfully they don't get too bad. Like they don't get like Silence of the Lambs bad, but
yeah.
But Shredder is continuing his plot that that he is trying to convince the children. Like I guess at this point, like I don't know, I kind of get mixed up because like it's. We mentioned it earlier that at some point you think that Shredder can respond, like that he can hear them, and then you realize that no, he can't hear them yet. It kind of vacillates a little bit, but he's basically just like doubling down on like, trust me, the turtles are evil. I got to convince the kids that they're good, or that I'm good. And I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do, Ryan? I'm gonna get them to call.
What?
Well, this is Shredder talking to you now. I'm gonna get them to call me Uncle Shreddums. Uncle Shreddums.
That's unfortunate because I somehow like I saw Uncle Shreddums, like the minute he said that, I saw Uncle Shreddums in the Steak-ums font and on a box of Steak-ums.
Yeah, yeah.
But instead it was Shreddums.
That's too good. I might have to make that as a thumbnail. I'm gonna write Steak-ums down.
Have you did you also go through a period of eating too many Steak-ums? Like was that ever a thing in your
I don't remember eating
childhood?
Steak-ums. I know they sound familiar, but like I can't pull up anything from memory about them.
I got to a phase like in my teenage years where like all I wanted to do was eat Steak-um sandwiches. So I have my mom buy like 2 boxes of Steak-ums like at the store.
Yeah.
And if you guys don't know what they are, they're like frozen like roast beef effectively, and they have like little papers like separating all the pieces, and you take them out and you put them in a frying pan and you like heat them up.
Yeah.
And then you make like a roast beef sandwich kind of thing. I got way too into those Steak-ums, dude. I can still clearly remember like the taste of them and how it was so good until like one day it was not good.
The day the music died.
And now I can taste it, and my skin kind of crawls a little bit.
Ooh, goodness.
But Shreddums.
Shreddums.
Imagine if it was Shreddums.
Imagine if it was Shreddums that you couldn't taste anymore, or that you could still taste. Well, yeah, he's going on and on about how he's got to convince the kids. And so at this point, this is where the turtles are trying to figure out, can we talk to him? Like, because we need to talk to him for some reason. And Donatello literally says, yeah, I just got to reverse the polarity. Like, I got it all quoted out here somewhere.
Literally.
Reverse the polarity on the I thought I did. Why do I have memories of here we go. Got to reverse the polarity of the Megatronic force field and reintroduce the gravitational latitude analogy. So this is just so that they can talk to Shreddums. And again, not a good idea. So Shredder realizes that, the audience can hear me. Beware of the turtles, Ryan. Beware. He's like, kids, six Flags, beware.
Yeah.
And then the turtles are like, you're deluded, whatever. Like, we don't care. He's like, no, for the evil dude. He's like, I'm gonna tell everybody, y'all are evil. Y'all are evil dudes. And he's like laying down some like heat. And like the turtles, like they just are constantly just like whatever, except for Michelangelo. Mikey starts flailing his arms and things get weird. He then spazzes out and runs around, and he's just like saying all kinds of stuff. And he's like,
he says, quote, "You're not gonna make a Donnie Wahlberg out of me. It's not my fault."
Right. And this is another.
Do you get that reference?
I do a little bit because I looked into it. But
okay.
But I just wanted to say real quick to your point and to our earlier point. This seems a little bit like too real. Like this seems like like not like he's acting.
Yeah.
Like not like he's like a really good actor, but just that this sounds like, he broke character, and he's like, this guy's freaking out. It's very strange. So the Donnie Wahlberg,
Mikey cracks. Like Mikey looks like he's got something he ain't proud of.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it sounds
he's got a
like
skeleton.
Yeah. It sounds like he's been using this device to look on some other things. That's what it sounds like. It sounds bad. And I think what he's in reference to is that around this time, the New Kids on the Block were huge and everywhere.
Yeah.
And so for those who don't know, Donnie Wahlberg was a singer in there. He's also the brother of Mark Wahlberg, who was in Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch and is also a famous actor now. And Donnie is a lesser-known actor, but still, he's an actor. He's good. Whatever. He was also they're both apparently good singers. So they he was in the New Kids on the Block, and there was something where he had like caused a fire or something, that like there was some sort of arson claim that was put on him, and I don't remember like what the outcome was, but the general idea was that the general idea was that he was the bad boy or the Hellraiser, if you will, of the New Kids on the Block, and I think that's what this is a reference to, but I could be mistaken. So
Okay.
I don't know. If anyone else knows, let us know, because we're dying to know. But anyway, in a successful attempt to refocus the Turtles, Casey wants them to sing something beautiful, and that just does the trick. And so this is where we get "Sing About It." Sing about it. So
this is the original like unperformed song that's on the Coots soundtrack, but was not on the live recording.
Right. And I don't know. I wasn't really a fan of this song. It just seems like a boring mid-tempo kind of song that like, if I'm being honest, like it looks like the Turtles are even, or well, I should say, the Turtles and the camera crew are having a very difficult time trying to like evoke any kind of like energy from this.
Yes, so I feel like what you're picking up on there, I agree. "Sing About It's" not the best song on Coots. I don't think it's the worst song. So you're being a little harsh on my "Sing About It," but I kind of feel like what you're seeing at this point is like what people that saw the live show complain about the recorded show. That the energy lags.
Yeah.
That like at times they seem wore out of sync. Like they just don't have the gusto. Right. And this song, and I agree, this song, I think you feel that lack of coordination, that like you feel it like the most here. It almost feels like they've been doing this show for like weeks on end.
Oh yeah.
And now they have to do it again, but alone.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna slack.
Oh,
like
yeah,
you're gonna not put everything into it. Like
it feels like they shouldn't have sung about it, Ryan. Maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like they shouldn't have sung about it. They should have just let it go. But anyway, so
that's that old like when someone's singing a song, like, who sings that?
Oh,
they're like, oh, Billie Eilish. You're like, oh, let's keep it that way.
Let's keep it that way.
That's like the meanest shit you can say to someone who's singing. I think.
Absolutely. When I first heard that, like at an Applebee's somewhere, I know it had to have been an Applebee's somewhere. I know that. I was like, oh, and like I felt it in my soul that like crushed. Like I felt so bad for the person that got crushed.
Yes. But I heard that from you, and I tried to pull that on Alicia, and it came out way wrong. Like it came out like out of my mouth, it came out dead serious.
Yeah.
And
like you
she
were
got
on
like really. Yeah, she got like really hurt, and I felt really bad.
Yeah.
And like it's almost immediately after I did it, I'm like, oh wait, no, look, that's a joke. Like Eric did that joke, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I want to try it out because it's so brutal. But like I meant to be funny, and she just like was not buying that. She's like, okay, well that's actually like a really mean thing to say to someone who's singing. And I'm like, I know, but like I hope the way I play it off would be like, you know, like. Let's keep it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, by put that note I'm saying, I'm like, let's keep it that way.
You came off like how
I'm like,
you came off how some of these turtles do with some of their lines of like edgy dialogue. Like that's.
Oh yeah, you look real stupid doing that.
So, gosh, speaking of looking stupid, we got Shredder, and I will say the one thing I thought was neat was Shredder and Casey Jones have a lot of back and forth in this. And
they do.
It's not something you usually see, or at least from like from what I recall in my recollection. Well, that's the same thing. Recollections of Casey and Shredder, like they didn't interact very much, but seeing that here, it's kind of neat. But yeah, at this point, Casey talks to Shreddums.
Joke?
Huh?
Okay, sorry. I hate to interrupt. I feel like I'm being obnoxious right now, but
no, you're good.
Did you get the joke they did back and forth? Because it was kind of hard to.
Oh, I don't know.
They actually set up this long series of callback jokes right here.
Oh,
I'm not director's cutting this. This is like this is dead true.
I
had to rewind this a lot. So it starts here where when Casey's talking to Shredder, he asks if he heard the song that like Sing About It that it is played. Shredder says that he got the point. Casey fires back and tells Shredder his whole head is made of points.
Yep.
Got him.
Hellhead is yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And then somebody says, speaking of points, or makes a joke about Madonna or something.
Oh, yeah. So just to walk through it, because I made close notes on this because it was probably the most interesting part of the whole thing to me. So Shredder keeps, at this point in the conversation, Shredder keeps saying like, well, I've got evidence on how bad you are. Like, I'm going to reveal it to everybody. And Mikey is like, well, whatever. Videos are easily doctored, dude. And then he said he could make Shredder a video proving that he is Madonna. And then Casey goes, speaking of points, am I right?
That's right. Yeah.
Which is like totally a reference to that bra thing. And I was like, yeah. I heard something about points. Yeah, points. I heard points. And then he said, speaking of points, I was like, wait, I rewound it. I was like, I got to track this because they're doing a callback thing.
Right.
And I really appreciated that line. That's good.
That's for the parents. That was for the
really
parents.
Good.
Yeah.
That was for the parents.
So, they go back and forth, him and Casey, and we kind of buried the lead there a little bit, but that was because I jumped the gun on the Madonna thing. But dude, Shredder has a VHS tape in space jail.
He does.
Like, first of all, he had to have that on him. Like, he couldn't just get that.
Yeah.
Like, he had to have that in his back pocket somewhere, just in case he got put in a space jail. And I'm going to bring this out on the Turtles. Now, nowadays, in our current day and age, and, the 2020s and whatever, like, if someone drops, like, hey, I've got a VHS tape or a file name with your name on it, like, that's some scary stuff. You're like, oh, I got to remember every day of my life to make sure that I didn't mess up and like do something stupid one day. Like, say, oh, who sings that? Oh, let's keep it that way. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, by the way, rip Chris Connolly. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, goodness. God.
Look out. Like, but anyway, go ahead.
Lord. Goodness.
Go ahead. Speaking of, I got video and I got stuff, but
yeah, that's tough. Anyway, that could be where all my anxiety was coming from too, like residual.
It's just not safe to be around him anymore.
It's not safe to be around anybody anymore. But nevertheless, it's never safe to be around Shredder. One, because he's full of points and he makes some here with this tape.
Do you remember? I'm sorry, but do you remember when, like, we used to wear jeans, like those Jinko jeans that were so damn big you could fit a full ass VHS tape in your back pocket?
Oh yeah, I used to fit my full Bible.
Did you ever pull that plan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, how?
Yeah, I got all 66 books in there, baby.
You had to be quite the catch at the Christian Family Bookstore. I'm surprised you were not just snatched up right then. You know what I'm saying?
I'm surprised
too. The Jinkos and the full Bible in the back pocket. Come on now.
Jen through Rev, got them all. But apparently Shredder has this tape, and I loved this. This was where this thing sold me. Like, and again, I didn't plan this at all. This was not, again, this show was not totally scripted at all. Shredder actually quotes the Bible here. He talks about the truth, and the truth will set me free, which is a reference to, I think it's John 8:32, if I'm not mistaken. And which I thought was very strange to come out of this. Now, granted, the truth will set you free is kind of been appropriated culturally as just like a phrase. But that line,
I thought that it might have even been in more recent history been like a Martin Luther King thing, because I think he quoted that a lot.
Yeah, but he was a preacher too, so I mean that's probably.
I'm not saying Martin Luther King fucking came. I'm not saying he came up with it. I'm just saying like I think in most recent history.
Like, I see what you're saying.
That era, Martin Luther King was probably the guy that you would think more about that quote,
right,
than the Bible.
Yeah,
does that make any sense? Like for people who weren't as like steeped in like going to church, would think that they'd hear that and think, oh, that's a Martin Luther King quote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So
then that's it's kind of interesting, and I don't know. I was a big fan of this, and so like. The Turtles are like, whatever. They're just super dismissive of this. And the problem is that they want Shredder to play it, but they're in space jail. He can't play, or he is. They can't play it.
He is. So, he can't play. He's like, I got a tape. I got a can, but no can opener, guys. That's basically what he's saying.
Right. So Donatello does something. He gets Casey to like redo some wires and some kind of mumbo jumbo, and something happens and it makes Donnie like have an aneurysm or something. He just falls to the ground and is just like losing it.
That was unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think what it is that Donatello had a lapse in judgment where his emotions got the better of him, because he is probably as arguably one of the more intellectual of the turtles. Instantly realized after he clicked the button saying release the Shredder, let's bring him out here to prove ourselves.
Yep.
He like realized the error in his ways and how stupid he was, because
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say the look that Donnie has going on, and I agree with you. I don't think it's like, oh, I was overcome with a wave of negaprotons or negative energy or whatever because of my tech. That is the same look and body language as that wrestler that accidentally said the N-word during that promo.
Oh, Booker T, when he's like getting
Do you
so
remember
hyped.
that? Yeah, Booker
like,
T.
Oh,
yeah.
Because he was talking about who's coming after Hogan. Which, right.
Yeah, I'm coming after you. And he drops it. And he goes, oh.
Yeah.
Like that. like that. Like, look at Donnie there.
Yep.
And then think about Booker T.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same feel.
Yeah, it's that same thing, and well, maybe not quite the same, but it has a similar vibe to it. And Donatello is like, oh, Shredder's out. How? What? How did he make the tape? How did he? No. So, and he just everything falls apart. And you realize
instead of singing about it, they should have been thinking about it.
Got it.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe instead of the sing about it, they took 3.5 minutes and they thought about this thing real fast.
Precisely. So Shredder's out and he's running around, and the thing is, Casey calls him a jerk, and they have a little standoff. At some point, the Turtles have a thing where they try to attack Shredder, and they just kind of push him and bully him a little bit. But they ultimately rely on Casey, because the Turtles dealt with Shredder last time. It's Casey's turn. And that's something. That's some road stuff. That's something you see on the road where, like, hey, you're the one that we did this last time. You do this now. And I never thought about it like that, but like that's things scale differently when you have certain type of fame, and you also deal with certain types of crises. And this is the Turtles, escalation of taking out the trash, if you will. There's a wink and a nod to the garbage can that we'll see again.
But kick the bum out.
Precisely. And we posted about this in the Turtle Soup group and last night, and Jake Niehaus was talking about how the sound effects on this, and I have to agree, it's very odd, very strange. It's just not good, but in the best way.
The Casey and Shredder fight kind of feels like it's like underwater.
Yeah,
it's very
that's a good
slow.
idea.
It's another part of like maybe they like in front of a live crowd who was like these kids like oohing and oh my god, like every time like Shredder gets the upper hand, they had more to put in. They had more in the tank to put on the field and stuff. But like this felt like a walkthrough.
Absolutely.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if this was like, you know what I mean? Like this was like, oh, I filmed a rehearsal. They're just going through the moves. It doesn't feel like the real thing.
Absolutely. Totally doesn't. Well, Casey gets the best of Shredder somehow, and despite Shredder being mostly blades, Casey, with the only protection are his Levi's and his hockey mask. Well, I guess he has some fingerless gloves on.
I mean, that's the important thing.
Yeah. He manhandles Shredder, and I think he makes a few jokes, but he basically just gets I'm trying to see if I wrote anything down, but they make jokes about Shreddums, and this is New York's premier kick man. You know what I'm saying? Or we're taking it back like that.
He is.
And he shows off some moves here. Like, I don't want to, we don't want to sell him too short, but definitely shows off some moves. But it feels more like he's just bullied. Like, instead of beaten, he feels like he's just like picked on, kind of. I don't know. That was the vibe I got. Nevertheless, they throw him into another dumpster, essentially, just like they did in the movie, in movie 1. And
just like they did in my punk scene growing up.
Oh, precisely. And this is probably what you looked like in your punk scene too. You're like, yeah.
I mean, when I threw someone in a dumpster, that's what you saw when you peeked out.
Right.
And you're lucky this time you're in the cardboard dumpster, not the fish dumpster.
Right, exactly. And so the Turtles they make jokes about Terminator jokes like Hasta la Vista and all this stuff, and they thank the audience for helping, which is a moot point here. But
yeah,
they say that this is what you can accomplish by believing in each other, and I felt like that didn't really work because they didn't believe in each other really. Casey posits that you should believe this is what happens when you believe in rock and roll or music or whatever, and like that, like I don't understand what can happen, that you can throw your enemy into the dumpster after releasing him from jail when he presents a incriminating videotape against you. Like I don't know, Ryan. I feel like this this plot thread kind of falls apart. So
it does. It yes.
And to
like to wraps up pretty quick.
It does. And once they realized that the plot fell apart, I think they're like, well, what's a song that we can bring it together? And so they sing "We Stick Together."
We stick together.
So this is the last song. It's a kind of weak song that they do the thing where it's supposed to go to the chorus, and it's just they just let the chorus kind of be a bridge to the second verse kind of real quick, and it works sometimes in certain songs, but this one was kind of just like, really? Because the songs that are really good on this soundtrack are really good, and I sing them all the time, but this is just really weak sauce. And one of the
you must have been like overly critical like the day you watched this, because
I could have been,
because once again, just like the Getting Down in Your Town, I felt like, I mean, look, like I said, like this is not a song I'm gonna be singing really. Like I think it's catchy enough to get stuck in your head if you hear it a lot. But like I felt different. I bounced different on it. I thought that it was a good ending song. I thought that it was like really once again very anthemic and very like true to the style of like the way these songs are. Like they're very anthemic and they're very kind of We Will Rock You almost style, like where everyone's supposed to sing it at once,
yeah.
And yeah, I just thought, I don't know. I feel like maybe the reason that we don't like think these songs like a Pizza USA is garbage, but the reason we don't think that like We Stick Together and Getting Down in Your Town are classics is because they're here. I think if they were on Coots, we'd be like, oh, it's classic.
Well, they're the B-side. They are the rarities. They're the unreleased. Like that's what this is. So for like hardcore fans, they probably dig this. But I my fandom kind of stops there a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. The one thing I did like about this was the video footage, because it gave some credit to the post-production stuff. Well, pre-production staff.
Yeah, like the all the text and stuff.
And they give the thumbs up, which I think I have a clip of that
somewhere.
Yeah. I forgot to do my job here. But yeah, they show here we go. Yeah. Just people getting ready for this show.
Yeah.
And I love that. And then the thumbs up. Stick together. And cracked me up so hard.
That all right, so that may also need to be an emoji.
Oh goodness.
And in Discord. I'm just saying. Like,
it's so good.
You want to give us the one thumbs up, or do you want to give them that thumbs up?
That
front of house guy, like, I got you, fam.
Right.
You're good.
Yeah.
We got you, fam.
Do your thing.
Go get it.
Focus on the music, which is also we probably didn't mention this. That's the reason Casey is on this tour, is so that the Turtles can focus on the music and Casey can handle all the other stuff. So interesting. I don't know.
Watch that be the guy who played Casey Jones.
I would love that. Actually, that would be a really cool thing.
Would that be great?
If I could see his armpit hair, I could tell you if it was him or not.
Oh,
but,
yeah, no.
like, just dead ass. Like, I could tell you. But honestly, I think you might be right, because this could have been
he's got the build. He has the long hair. Like,
he has the complexion. But
his face isn't as long as Elias Codius's, but neither is that guy's. It doesn't seem like.
No. I hadn't thought about that, but we might be onto something, because this could be because why else? Because they show him, I think him, and they show another guy, but not really.
Yeah, he's
but
whatever.
It looks, that could be a way to get this guy's face in this thing a little bit, as a, could you do this for us? Or not could you do this for us, but like as a means to get your friend some FaceTime, with something. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. If you know, let us know. But yeah, and then the video credits start, or the credits start rolling with the crowds leaving, which is interesting. And then it plays the instrumental version of Tubin from the original Coots soundtrack.
Although that was kind of cool.
That was
it
cool.
always kind of nerds me out when they have assets like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like after Coots was already over.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you hear an instrumental version of Tubin with no vocals.
Right.
Just it has the Beach Boys backing vocals, but no like lead vocals.
Right.
And it goes on for a little while, and I'm kind of like,
it does.
That's pretty cool that they have that asset they just put on the end of this video. I think it's awesome.
It does. And something else they put at the end of the video is the credits that have I have it on screen. It says book.
Yeah.
And then it has Bob Bahan and Tom White, which I at first I took it.
Is that how you say it? Bob Bahan? Is that how you say that?
How do you say it? I forget.
I was saying Bajan.
Oh, that could be. Yeah.
But Bahan is probably completely right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Eric.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know.
You ruined it for me.
I'm sorry. But what I at first I was like,
sure.
This is weird. What is this? Then I thought about it, and they probably have had a program that they called the book, and that's probably what this is.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Like they had like the program you could buy,
right? And
they
so
wrote that or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But what I do know is that was the end of Getting Down in Your Town. Getting Down in Your Town is over. Like, we did it.
We got down all over your town.
We did. So what did you guys think of this? Like, were you there to see it? Like, do you have any memories of this?
Yes, I really want to know if you saw it.
Yeah.
I want to know your memories versus the live show that was like filmed and put out. I want to know all that. I want all of your experiences. I want to absorb them into my own flesh.
Right.
And I want to meld with you and your experiences of the Six Flags show in such a way that even the people that love you the most and know you the most would consider you and I to be indecipherable. You don't know where you end and I begin.
Yes. And so that's what we want. So let us know, because ultimately I think we had fun with this. The songs were a little weird. I loved the premise, but or the idea that the tape and like that Shredder's a good guy. But ultimately, yeah, I can see why this was not like a continuation of the tour. It was more of just like a swan song, I guess. And I don't know. Do you not agree?
No, granted, I mean, like it feels like a 4-song stage show. Like
it does.
It's like 20 to 30 minutes of your time. Like it's not like, I feel like it's hard to judge this. This is almost like saying like that an EP isn't as good as an album because it's not as long. Like, and that being your thing and being like, well, it's not as long. And you're like, well, I mean that's true by its very nature.
Yeah.
But if you're going to say, yeah, well, like that EP doesn't take me on the journey that this full-length album does, I would say, okay, true, but like it was never, in its format, was never designed to give you like a full like hour-long experience.
Yeah.
I
don't know that was necessarily like, it wasn't so much the length. It's just that I think the thing that killed it the most was the fact that it was not done before a live studio audience or
sure.
performing audience. Because when you watch
Coots, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, when you watch Coots or any of the live Turtle performances, like when they're on Oprah, which we're going to be talking about next week, like that has a lot more of a vibe to it. That I feel like that would have interjected a lot of life. It would have gone a long way for this. One last thing before we get going, Ryan. The one thing that I forgot to mention is on the cover of the VHS, which there are very few pictures of. So if you had this, holler at your boys. They showed the turtles in their where they had the kiss, like the ace, or like the star sign on the eye and all that, like those costumes. And I wonder why they put them on the cover of this one. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like why not use the jean jacket? Well, why don't they use the jean jacket ones, like the ones that they used in the show? Because these are not the ones that are used in the show. Like these are the ones from the where Leonardo has that weird star thing on his
It's the promo. It's the promo shots they did for Coots, but they didn't go with it. They like the live look didn't have all that.
Right? Yeah, that's right. It was the making of stuff. Those costumes. So I don't know. That was another weird thing for me, but nevertheless, this whole thing is weird, but delightfully so. And I think that it does have merit. And what I enjoyed of it, I did enjoy a lot. So let us know what you thought, because we've told you what we think. Let us know what you thought. You can do that by emailing us at turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. You could also go to the home of the internet, turtlesoupshow.com, where you can find all of the episodes. Home of the internet. Where you can find all of our episodes to download or just stream and listen to there. And that's all up there. Let's see. You can follow us on Instagram, Turtle Soup Show with the _. Join the Facebook group. Lots of cool people there. You can go to YouTube if you're not already here enjoying the show live. We're live every Thursday at 8 o'clock. You can like, subscribe, and leave some comments and hang out with some other Turtletarians and let us know what you think about stuff live. And it's a good time to be had by all. Also, you can see like the screenshots we get and all this other kind of stuff. So it's really rad.
That's a big part. The show is definitely I think benefiting from the live aspect and the video aspect of it by having those screenshots and letting us like play off that and giving you guys a visual, and we can all kind of look at the same exact thing at the same time. I think that's actually becoming an ever bigger part of the show. I feel like it's becoming ever more like integral to like the way that we're doing things. So like that's exciting.
Yeah. So there's that. And then if you could rate, review, subscribe, however you're listening to this or watching this, we really appreciate that. And I think if you want to go the extra mile, you can go to patreon.com and find Turtle Soup's been making a podcast and now a YouTube channel. And you can throw some pennies our way. It helps to prevent the Foot Clan from making us say clang and destroying the podcast, as well as you become a member of the family, much like, what was his name? What was his name? From Jericho. What was the main character in that guy? That guy's Skeet Ulrich. Like Skeet Ulrich. Skeet Ulrich was becoming a family member of the Foot Clan. Well, you can join our clan.
Yes.
Which that sounds very strange coming out of my mouth. Clan is not the right word.
We don't need.
Yeah,
we don't. Yeah, no. There's no. We don't have a clan.
No, we don't have a clan. No,
we have.
Not at all.
We have family.
We have family.
And we have Turtletarians.
Yes.
And that's what we have.
So you can do that at patreon.com, and you can check the description. There's all kinds of links and everything like that here on YouTube. So I think that does it, Ryan. So
that does about do it.
So else time.
Else time.